folks.
It's a real thing.
The Edge Morning Show.
We're now in the approach phase. Everything looking good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Edge Morning Show.
With Chris Knight, Eric Johnson, Fox 2's Faust, and Tabitha Hassell.
The Edge starts now.
Good morning.
Today is a very special day.
It's a very special day.
Why is today a special day?
Because today is
E-G-I-M, that's right.
Today is
Thank God it's Monday.
Thank God it's Monday.
Is that a real thing?
Is that a real thing?
Why, yes, it is.
Google it.
You can Google it. It's worth a Google.
I don't need to.
I believe you.
You know what else I just realized?
It's showtime.
Hey guys, happy Monday. Welcome to the show. It's 8:03 on this August 9th. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Welcome to the one and only Edge. We are glad you're here. The fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. Eric Johnson's sick. He's not going to be in today. Hopefully he's doing all right.
Ouch.
You talked to him today. He didn't sound great, Tabitha?
I did talk to him. As a matter of fact, I just sent him a text message. I'm like, go to the ER.
What?
Get the steroids. Get ahead of it.
Whatever it is?
Whatever. I mean, he could have a summer cold. It could be COVID. He does not know. A lot of people have summer colds right now, so we don't know.
Let's see. Friday, Saturday, and yesterday, my sinus headache was bad. And it's nothing else. I can promise you that much. It's not. I feel great. No temperatures, any of that stuff. But my head...
You could be having a mild case or asymptomatic.
No.
Neurasymptomatic.
Yeah. Don't get people started on that. There's no such thing as asymptomatic. I'm sorry. Where's the proof? Show me the proof there's asymptomatic.
But you have symptoms. You have a headache and sinus problems. That's a symptom.
Stop that. Yeah, it's also a symptom of 100
Everybody in
Alpha.
this room has COVID but me.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously, I mean, you confuse people. Don't tell them that silly stuff because, oh my God.
Well, actually,
Yeah,
I'm
there
not.
is
Headache
regular-
is actually... Headache is a symptom of the new Delta variant.
Yeah, and headache is a normal,
And
just
it is a
anything.
normal, everyday occurrence. Yes. I had a headache last
If
week.
we didn't realize it, all the symptoms of
Everything
COVID
would be COVID,
is
right?
the same thing as the flu.
Everything would be COVID.
My God.
But I really think Eric may have COVID.
What makes you think that Eric has COVID?
Because Tabitha likes to play doctor.
Yeah.
No, because he thinks he has COVID and because he has a fever,
Oh, okay.
a really bad cough. He's really not feeling well. I really hope that he feels better.
Well,
I feel bad
hope
for
he
him.
was fine with you sharing all of that you just shared. Oh, man. But
It's probably a summer cold. Not everything is COVID these days.
yee, okay. Happy Monday, everybody. Yikes. So Eric will not be in today. We'll see where it goes from there in regards to getting other guest hosts to come in with us. We'll take it.
No one will want to sit in his seat.
Yeah, we'll take it hour by hour. It'll be all good. But Chris Knight's here, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Hope everybody had a terrific weekend. On our station text line, Chris, you were quiet all weekend. What did you do? Were you out in your RV again?
No, I wasn't. I pretty much worked all weekend.
Work doing what? Which
Yeah.
job?
Fire department.
Okay.
So I was.
Chris likes to run around with his hose.
Yes.
You like to play
Play
with
with
hose.
my water
You like to
guns.
play with your hose
That's right.
on the weekend.
That's right.
Shoot out fires. Tabitha, you're not sick or anything, right?
I'm not sick. I even went and antibody tested again.
What? Okay, why?
It's because I'm going to
Why
continue.
do you, why, do
God.
you, why do you keep doing that?
Because
can't-
I want to
seriously.
prove everyone should be doing it. Everyone should be doing it. Because you know why? This is how we fight back. This is how we fight back.
Fight for your freedom.
It
Here
is.
she goes.
I am 100% not kidding. This is how we fight back. Every person needs to go and get an antibody test, the type where they actually draw your blood, because that gives you your level of antibodies. And think about this. The government wants to tell us, the scientists want to tell us, the doctors want to tell us that we all have to get vaccinated because so few people have natural immunity. Everybody needs a vaccination. But guess what? We know that more people have had COVID than the numbers that they report.
Absolutely,
And
not
the
even
only-
close.
The only way to prove that is to overwhelm the labs with antibody tests. Because guess what? If everybody's getting an antibody test and everyone shows they have antibodies, they're showing they have natural immunity to COVID. Why would we need forced vaccinations?
Tabitha, I agree with you, but guess what?
They don't care. I know.
I feel like
they
I'm
don't
talking.
care.
You
You're
already
playing
knew
the role.
answer.
I know they
You're
don't
playing
care.
the role of Eric
I
right
know.
now.
I know.
And Eric's absence Tabitha takes his place. Tabitha, it will not happen. The labs will not be run over because people are like, hey, I got my vaccine. Whatever. I'm good to go.
I know.
I'm not, it
But
would be
I
nice.
still,
I agree
I still
with what
urge
you
everyone
say.
to get an antibody test because
I'm
that's
getting
your
one this
vaccine
week.
card.
I'm going to get one this
I know
week.
you are, and you need to.
Are you really?
Yeah, absolutely. I talked about it last week how I wanted to when I had my son go,
Yes.
and he came back.
I'll go with you.
And he came back with, you going to fit my schedule?
I don't. When are you going to go?
It's going to be like, 30 minutes just opened up. I got to race over there.
Yeah, call me and I'll go with you.
As is my life. There's a LabCorp. Where's there a LabCorp in St. Charles?
There are many LabCorps in St. Charles. Many. I've probably been to all of them. And you know what? It's so easy at LabCorp. If you can schedule your appointment online, if you have health insurance, it's $10. You can pay it online. You can schedule an appointment the same day or the next day, or you can just walk in and you don't have to go online at all. You walk in. It literally takes 2 minutes. They take you right in. I was there on Friday. I was seriously there for 5 minutes. I walked in, got my little test out the door, and I had my results when I woke up the next morning.
Yeah, and I'm glad this person brought up. Thanks, Jeff. I heard about this, but I did not see the report. The CDC came out over the weekend. It's interesting. All of the things that would go against COVID or being worried about it, all of a sudden, here's a test. Nope, here's a test. That's wrong. Every single time the CDC came out over the weekend stating that natural immunity did not work from a study they did.
Well, I looked at several studies over the weekend that said
Can you believe this stuff?
The opposite of that.
The CDC coming out and saying that. It does not work.
But yet they also say, reinfection is very rare. They say that on their website. Reinfection is rare.
You seriously need a scorecard.
Yes, because they're here, they're there, they're everywhere.
And it jumps in. It's like Fauci.
Yes.
It's like a little rat, like Fauci is. They just scurry.
Yes.
They scurry from place to place to place to place, from dark hole to dark hole to dark hole.
Absolutely. I read a CDC
Fauci kind of
report
looks like
last
he
night
kind of
about
looks
it.
like a mouse.
He looks
kinda
like a
mousy.
little weasel. Yes, he does.
And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but when he gets up there, because we all know that he has lied. We know that he has given misinformation. We know that he has gone back and forth on issues. We know that he has not been consistent in his messaging. And we know that he'll let one side out, Obama party goers, and then attack another side, Sturgis bikers. And
Speaking of which, not to interrupt you, did you see the party?
And not be consistent.
Yes.
Which party?
Oh, my God.
Obama's party.
Obama's party.
I wish I had an invite.
400
Holy
guests,
cow.
none
I didn't
in
know it was
masks.
400.
400
I
guests.
thought
I think
no
it
one
was
in
more than
masks.
that. I think it was more than that because the police department was complaining about it and the town was complaining about it.
Forget the lake. Let's talk about Obama, baby.
400 guests.
Obama's throwing the
unmasked.
party.
And
Hey,
I think
have more-
Franchi was there.
I'm sure he was.
And
I
they
have a-
wouldn't let Nancy Pelosi in. Did you see that?
No, I did
No,
not
I
see
did not
that.
see
that.
How'd you
Yes.
get that intel?
It was on Fox News website. She was there. She was in Martha's Vineyard, but she was not at the party, and they think that somebody had taken her off the guest list.
Wow.
She was in Martha's Vineyard eating breakfast or something.
What do you mean I can't get in there? I got 5 vaccines.
Crazy.
Oh, my God.
But if you went to Sturgis, you're an SOB.
Oh, yes, of course. Of course.
Oh, from the Facebook line. If Trump would have held the same event. Oh, my God. The sky's falling. It's
Yep.
a super spreader. You know what? That is a great point. And I'm not sticking up for Trump when I say that. That's just how national media is. However, it's not just the Sturgis event that got called out. There was actually a New York Times reporter, since we're there, and I credit her. She and you know what? If we're going to talk about blue and red, she's a Democrat. She's a New York Times reporter, and she had the guts, and we'll play that sound for you a little bit later. She had the guts, because I don't know if you can find it right now, Chris, or not, but she had the guts to call out Obama and his 300 to 400 guests for holding a super spreader event. She's like, I guess they're a sophisticated, vaccinated crowd. I mean, you got to call truths, all right? You just do. And I'm sorry. I've got nothing against Obama, but come on.
And wait till they have all of the infections, the super spreader event, because most of those people, I'm sure all of them were vaccinated.
This is why you can't trust Fauci, and I'm sorry.
Can't, no.
You can't. Nothing the man says is correct. Nothing anymore. Nothing. Nothing is new. He states the obvious. Then he states something that'll blow your mind. Then he'll state the obvious. Then he'll go against what he said earlier that blew your mind. Then he comes back and says this. Then he'll call out Sturgis, which he did. And we have sound of that too. But he doesn't call out the Obamas. I mean, I think we see this now. And
we
even
always
the most
have.
hardcore David Tannehill doctor types would say, yeah. And I can't say it publicly, what I've been told privately, but these doctors know that Fauci's a fraud chief.
No question.
They know it. They all know it. Tannehill even said last week he was upset with the messaging at national levels and certain individuals. He said it on this show. These are doctors involved at Mercy
Absolutely.
who are all about vaccinations, who are all about, hey, I think everybody should be vaccinated, then saying, yeah, the messaging at the national level is doing nothing but hurting what we're trying to do locally.
Because the messaging is false. It's false.
Fauci is a
False.
political puppet.
Yes, he is.
And I was all about Fauci at first.
I was too.
And yeah, I remember. And then I jumped off the wagon. Then I was like, hey, Tabitha, come on. And
I
you're
know.
like, no,
I followed.
I'm
It took
going
me a
for a
while.
ride. I'm going for a ride, Vic. I'm going to stay on the Fauci bandwagon. And then, of course, we see that. I am just grateful that this reporter actually came out and called him out.
Yeah.
This is how ridiculous it is. Once again, we have to put the disclaimer on this. COVID is real. COVID
Yes, it
can
is.
really F you up, for
Yes.
lack of a better term.
No question about it.
There is absolutely no doubt about it.
And we're not telling people not to get vaccinated.
Never
we're
have.
simply fighting for your right to choose.
Bingo.
That's it. We're fighting for your right to choose.
So we've got a lot to get into right off. And by the way, if anybody hasn't realized this, and this is the message that really should be put out there from all the research and evidence, and even talking with David Tannehill last week, if you didn't hear it, you need to get the message out there, whether it's on social media, whether it's with your friends or your family or whoever you come in contact with. Whether we have chosen to get the vaccine or not, what is the use for a vaccination card if it is already a known fact that vaccinated people and non-vaccinated people are spreading the same virus? And it doesn't matter if you've been vaccinated. So what would it be? Well, we're not going to let non-vaccinated people in. We want to see your card. Only vaccinated people. Well, why is that? Ask that question.
I would love to know the
Break
answer
it
to that
down to the
question.
most simplest terms. Because we already know scientifically right now, Tannehill told us last week, several other people, vaccinated and unvaccinated are spread. So what's the use of a vaccination card? You're not keeping the virus out.
No.
End of story. And if you say that, I'm sorry, you're stupid.
But people don't
You're
get
flat
it,
out
Vic.
stupid,
People
or
don't
you're
get
making it a political statement. And no, you're just stupid if you think a vaccination card keeps COVID
People don't
or keeps
understand.
less COVID out of your place.
What do you
of
mean they don't
business.
understand, Tabitha?
They
We've
don't-
been dealing with this for a year and a half
Because you know
now.
what? They're not listening to shows like ours. They're not listening to the right media sources. They're listening to the mass hysteria that's taking place. I just saw yesterday on LinkedIn, someone stated, oh my gosh, I can't believe that if you have been vaccinated, you can still transmit COVID. I'm like, seriously? We've only known that for literally over a year. The Pfizer CEO made that statement. Well, maybe not
Yeah, I
quite a
remember
year,
that.
but it's been almost a year.
It was December.
Yeah,
Wasn't it
it's-
December?
I believe it was December. I mean, we've known this for a really long time. And I'm still so frustrated that no one will give credit to people who have natural immunity. I'm 9 months out from being infected. I had COVID in November. My level when I got tested on Friday was 640.5.
Yeah, but
and
Fauci
that is one
had,
of the
Fauci,
highest categories.
Yeah, but Fauci addressed you yesterday too.
Oh, I
Yeah,
bet
he
he
We
did.
got
did.
four. He addressed you, Tabitha. He had something
I was
for you.
waiting.
We'll get to that after this break. We'll take in a couple of minutes, but he addressed every one of you that thinks that you're fine because you've had COVID. And once again, I'm going to reach out to, I think it's Dr. Elabetti from WashU, the PhD, who published the study May 23rd
Yes.
that I have brought up several times in regards to even a mild case showing that it gives you lifetime antibodies. But nobody wants to talk about that. I guess that study was just, all right.
Dr. Tannehill proved it to us. He told us there was no one in his ICU that has ever had COVID. All of those people have never had COVID.
And by the way, that was Dr. Tannehill from Mercy and ICU Doc who joined us last week. He said once again, Tabitha, what?
That no one in his ICU has ever tested positive for COVID in the past. These are 20% vaccinated, 80% unvaccinated. He said about 20%.
No, here's
Yes.
what, I'm sorry. No.
That's okay.
Here's what he said. those are hospitalizations. I talked to Dr. Tannehill over the weekend, and he said this on the radio show. Not one vaccinated person.
Oh, okay. So
not
so
one
hospitalizations is 20%.
Hospitalizations as of Monday of last
vaccinated.
week, you had 20% vaccinated, which proves they're not just breakthrough. That breakthrough cases are rare. That they're on the rise.
Yes, they are.
And not one person, though. This is why he says the vaccine is a must.
Right.
If you don't want, and you know what? He's backing it with science.
Absolutely.
So regardless of what you feel about the vaccine, not one person that
It's
has
keeping
been in the
people out of
ICU
for the most part.
has not one person has been vaccinated.
In his ICU, yes.
In Mercy.
Correct.
So it's
and
like,
none of them have had COVID.
That opened my eyes.
Right.
a
Oh no,
little
I
bit.
agree because that was how I felt when we actually had him on the line that day, because that tells me that people who are vulnerable, I still don't believe the vaccine's for everyone, but people who could be vulnerable to severe symptoms, I absolutely think should consider vaccination.
Josh, yes, from the Facebook line, but do we trust his testing in the ICU? Yes, I do, because I know him and I know how much he cares about this, and he is not a Fauci fan, and I'm not going to get into his politics, but it's not what you may think.
Correct.
I will tell you that much, and he has been in there, and he's getting hardly any sleep whatsoever, working around the clock because the ICUs are packed.
That is a true statement.
And that's not just from COVID patients, it's from everybody. But once again, they have limited staff. And we've gotten into all it. Man, oh man, we are. Now that's how you start a Monday morning show off right like that. The fastest 2 hours in morning talk radio anywhere. That's why we do what we do. That's why we've become popular. It's because of you. And we appreciate it because you listen, you participate. We'll take your phone calls as well today. The phone number 636-695-2915. 636-695-2915. Of course, you can catch us at ViperRocks.com. Take us anywhere at ViperRocks.com. And as always, on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper. Eric Johnson is sick today. We hope he's doing all right. You can keep him in the prayers. Tabitha gave us little updates there. We want him back as soon as possible. When we know more, we'll share that. Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. All right, share the show. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll get into some of the sound that's going on. Plus, we're a little angry, too, as another Chicago police officer is ambushed and attacked and killed, this time a young female, by somebody who should have been in prison in the first place. Nice job, Lori Lightfoot.
Yep.
Just had a baby 2 months ago.
I know, it's so sad.
Yeah,
Damn.
but police aren't being put behind any sort of bad situation. I mean, it blows your mind. Plus, we got all this Fauci sound that will blow your mind. We'll give an update on the Olympics and how the Americans finished off quite strongly. Plus, talk about some local things that happened. A 53-year-old man died because some teen stole a car and ran into him. It pisses us off what's going on. The lawlessness is all over the place. Anyway, you're listening to The Edge. Back with more right after this. It's 8:20.
Listen to the Edge Morning Show live. Watch it live or anytime on demand. Details at ViperRocks.com or on Facebook.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed is the only bed that effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. The new Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 Smart Bed is only $8.99, plus special financing. Ends Monday. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Hi, this is Curtis Parks. I'm the owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair. Now that things are back open, the vaccines are out, we are ready to get back to work. The kids are home, and I'm sure you're ready to go back to work too. We are hiring all positions. We are looking for everyone and anyone that wants to make life better for themselves, and we want you now. CompleteAB.com is where you apply. CompleteAB.com. Join the Complete experience. No more sitting at home. Let's get back to work. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Today, I'm taking it to the streets to give people the good news. Oh, excuse me. Hello. I'm Flo from Progressive, and did you know...
No, I'm just waiting for the bus.
So then you have time to hear about how with Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance.
Yeah, if I was interested in talking to you, which I'm not.
Okay, I'll do the talking, and you just check if you can be saving, which is going to be pretty hard to do if you put on your headphones. Okay.
See if you're paying too much for home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Live on 100.7.
The Viper.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. It's the final days to save up to $1,000 on select Sleep Number 360 Smart Beds and adjustable bases, plus special financing. Ends Monday. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Hi, Conrad Bellman at Bellman's Car Connection in St. Peters. Right now, we're paying top dollar for your pre-owned vehicle. At Bellman Car Connection, we'll take anything on trade, van, Jeep, truck. Spring into a quality pre-owned car, truck, Jeep, SUV, or van today. The inventory is always fresh, so hurry in today before someone else buys the one you want. Bellman's Car Connection in St. Peters at Highway 70 and 370, where you will never pay the max. Online at carnection.com.
Hey, Dan Breen here for someone other than my kid's restaurant, and that's Brian Dawson Roofing. If you're renting, I'll give you permission to tune this out, unless you just like the sound of my voice. If you're a homeowner, business owner, or one of those rental property moguls, sooner or later you're going to need a reputable roofer. That's when you call Brian Dawson. I met Brian on a men's retreat a couple years ago. This man has the expertise and the integrity to take care of all your roofing needs. I've trusted Brian Dawson with my roofing needs. You should too.
Welcome to MegaNet. For slow internet, press 1. For indifferent customer service, press 2. For confusing pricing, press 3. For extremely long wait times, stay on the line. You are 87th in line, 85th in line, 87th in line, 85th in line, 85th in line.
Where there was frustration, now there's satisfaction.
Hello, this is Helen at Gateway Fiber. How may I help you?
Isn't it time you refreshed your internet provider? For more information, visit gatewayfiber.com.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to The Edge on this Monday morning, August 8th. 8:24 is our time. Eric Johnson's sick today. We don't know what he has. We'll keep you posted on that. Chris Knight's here, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Big Faust of Fox 2. Tabitha, you made it in our first break. You put out your request, I guess. Get to the labs.
That's
get your
right.
antibodies tested.
Go get your antibody test.
Okay.
Show them we have already reached herd immunity through natural infection.
But if we reach herd immunity, COVID's still running it's still running
and
rampant.
it's going to. You know, it's going to.
Or
COVID is never
COVID
going
and
to
the
go
flu.
away. It is never going to go away, just like the flu never went away. We have to learn how to live with it. And knowing your antibody level tells you a lot about your body, because if you don't
That's
have
true.
antibodies, then maybe you do need to consider getting vaccinated depending on your health.
Maybe. I do know that now I know 3 people who are over the age of 45, but not yet 53, who've gotten COVID recently and have gotten hit very hard.
People are getting it bad.
There were 3 men, 3 white males, not even African Americans, because we're told those are the people who are really making up the ICUs and the hospital content right now, who've been hit hard. 2 of them, well, one of them hospitalized. The other one should have been hospitalized, but he battled through, and the other one is a wait to be seen. So that's where we kind of are with that as we get ready to go back to school in a couple of weeks and, mask mandates and situations like that. I was in Illinois yesterday. It was unfortunate. My uncle had so he had a stroke, so my mother flew in from California, so at least I got to see her over the weekend. And we were over on the Illinois side. Nobody, a couple different restaurants, and nobody's masking up.
I was over in Illinois
in the
on
Metro East.
Saturday.
I was there Saturday and Sunday. Nobody was there. What? I think I'm 1 or 2 masked.
Right.
I was at a variety of places. Nobody's They're not masking up in the Metro East.
Not that I saw. Not any of the places I stopped through.
Oh,
no.
but we're gonna make those kids do it. we did have a situation over the weekend where Dr. Fauci was talking. Chris, did we have the Sturgis sound queued up yet? Because I know I threw a bunch at you this morning.
Yeah, we got it.
What happened was this. Dr. Fauci, go back to calling them Fraudchi, and that's not me mistaking pronouncing his name. That's on purpose when he's not consistent in his messaging. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. There was we'll first tell you what he said about Sturgis. Then we'll have the second part of that. Sturgis bike rally going on. Dr. Fauci, of course, here he is. He'll make an appointment about this. He'll talk about this. Dr. Fauci on Meet the Press.
Absolutely, Chuck. As you know, and I've said it several times on your show, that you're not going to see a from the federal government mandating vaccines for the country. But I'm almost certain, in fact, I am certain, that as soon as the FDA fully approves the vaccines that are now under emergency use authorization,
when is that?
You know, Chuck, no one wants to get ahead of the FDA because they're an independent group that makes their decisions, and that's good in many respects because there will never be any concern that we're influencing them. But I hope, I don't predict, but I hope that it will be within the next few weeks. I hope it's within the month of August. If that's the case, you're going to see the empowerment of local enterprises giving mandates. That could be colleges, universities, places of business, a whole variety, and I strongly support that. The time has come is we've got to go the extra step to get people vaccinated. You want to persuade them, that's good, and I believe that some people on their own, once it gets approved as a full approval, will go ahead and get vaccinated. But for those who do not want, I believe mandates at the local level need to be done.
No. All right. That was Dr. Fauci talking about how he thinks there should be local mandates.
Of course.
But we're not going to do it at a federal level. We're not going to do it.
We're communists now. Lock us all down.
But I don't know. I think he just said when they've got the authorization, will they try to then make it a federal mandate to get vaccinated?
I have no respect for that. 60 to 80,000 deaths from flu in many, many seasons, no lockdowns, no mask mandates.
I know. Nobody's talking about the flu. It's unfortunate. We're not even testing for it. That blew people's mind when we found out last week when FSM and Total Access Urgent Care told us, these tests don't test for the flu. And we don't test the difference between COVID and the variant. That has to be sent to the CDC on a case-by-case basis, and then that takes 3 weeks on top of it. And there hasn't even been the time to do all of that. But, oh my God, the variants rage in the skies.
The flu test is a separate test.
God. And they're not being tested. So anyway, so that's Dr. Fauci talking about he wants local mandates, but they're not going to do it at the federal level. Here's the sound I tossed to when it came to what he had to say about the Sturgis bike event in South Dakota.
Well, I'm very concerned, Chuck, that we're going to see another surge related to that rally. I mean, to me, it's understandable that people want to do the kinds of things they want to do. They want their freedom to do that. But there comes a time when you're dealing with a public health crisis that could involve you, your family, and everyone else, that something supersedes that need to do exactly what you want to do. I mean, you're going to ultimately be able to do that in the future, but let's get this pandemic under control before we start acting like nothing is going on. I mean, something bad is going on. I mean, we've got to realize that.
Dr. Anthony Fauci. Okay. He didn't bring up a 400-person party with the Obama's 60th birthday party. First of all, he doesn't think anybody can move on in life right now by doing this, by actually getting together. He didn't bring up Lollapalooza, where you had almost 400,000 people show up in Chicago, which Mayor Lightfoot was describing as something, it was a great event, when apparently, allegedly, you had to either show your vaccination card, and it was very lax. People could just show anything and walk in, or show that you had tested negative for COVID. Yet there's been nothing brought up about that. We already know that it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, you can spread the virus. Vaccination does not protect you from being a spreader. Yet, and Fauci knows this, yet we're more intelligent than he is when it comes to this, or at least we're being honest and direct.
We're being honest and direct. He knows the truth. That's the problem. He knows the truth. He chooses to lie.
Which is why you can't trust Fauci. You can't trust a word he says. And that's only because of his own track record. It's not because nobody has given him a chance or put him in that. Even President Trump trusted him for a while.
And he can't speak out, Vic, against the party, against Obama's party, or Lollapalooza, because guess what? Because then he would have to admit that vaccinated people can, in fact, turn into a super spreader event.
Yep. And that's what you have. So you have two things going on. One, he decides to just focus on Sturgis and not bring up Lollapalooza in Chicago or bring up the Obamas and the 60th birthday party for our former president. And if you haven't seen some of the videos or pictures,
oh my God.
Wow. Now, you'll find them if you go look. I'm sure they'll all be taken down soon.
Oh, yes.
I thought I had big birthday parties. Holy cow.
I heard.
Was the party of all parties, baby. The Obamas throwing big time. Nobody masking up. Everybody kissing each other, hugging on each other, drinking, having a good time. And you know what? More power to them.
And celebrities were asked
Have
to take
fun.
down the post from Twitter.
How do you know that?
Secret sources.
Oh, well, Tabitha, I mean, anybody can
Some
say.
things I can't reveal.
Well,
But,
how do you know? How can we trust you? I mean,
well, you just have to take my word for it.
but you know that there's people
and I
that won't
understand
believe
that
you
people
because
won't,
of
and
your
that's
feelings.
okay. That's okay. I don't care.
I could say, yeah, I talked to somebody who was at the party.
I
and
didn't
they
talk to
said this
anyone that was
going-
at the party, but somebody told me that celebrities have been asked to remove posts of the party from their Twitter accounts.
What celebrities were there?
I don't know.
Come on, Tabitha.
I really don't know. I was busy all weekend. I didn't even realize Obama had the
Well,
party.
you had time to take a phone call from somebody or a text.
A text, yes. Lots of text. Lots of texting this weekend.
So this huge, massive Obama birthday bash. Hey, you know, I don't have a problem with it. That's great. That's awesome. Enjoy your 60th birthday, former president, and all the people who are going out having the freedom to do that. Fauci, though, is the issue, not calling them out. No other national media calling it out,
And
which is
we'll
why I
never
always say you
find
can't
out.
trust national media.
Exactly. If there's infections there, if there's a super spreader event, we will never
No,
know because
you'll
they
never
will
know.
cover that up.
Yes.
We will never know.
So
it's all a facade, just
Yeah.
a big sham.
It's the old double standard, you know, do as I say, not as I do. But then we're going to attack the bikers' Sturgis rally in South Dakota, which happens to be in the same state of Kristi Noem, who's the governor, Kristi Noem, who has gone after the Biden administration and some policies from the Obama era. But Fauci's going to go and attack them, which is unfortunate, which is sad.
Yes.
And that's where we are. So that's another issue that's going. Just call it out, people, wherever you are. Just be honest. Be real. Because if we're going to talk about that, you got to talk about the 400-person party. Hey, I saw Obama out there dancing. He looked like he was having a good time.
I bet he was.
He looks good for 60. Hey, more power to the former president. He's loving life. Living his best life at 60.
I'm glad
Throwing
they had a
massive
party.
parties.
Exactly. Good for them. Throw all the parties you want. But guess what? Don't come back and say anything when we do the same thing. Because you know, and I know they're
Bingo.
attacking Sturgis because it's largely a conservative event.
Yeah, and there's no difference in the two.
There is zero.
Well,
and
we know
zero
that
difference.
Sturgis, they're not vaccinated. How do you know they're not vaccinated?
How do you know? And
And
how do you know
doesn't
they
matter.
haven't had COVID?
And it doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
That's the best part.
We're all free people in the United States.
So be careful once again with the messaging because it's not going to stop, and they're going to continue there being this national media and those who are trying to push that all over the place. From our Facebook line, it looks like somebody's posting some of the pictures that I saw. That's Joe Patterson posting pics there. Anyway, of the big bash that Obama had. But we're not going to talk about that. We're only going to talk about what we saw.
Quite the guest list, though. I was just looking it up.
I wanted to see the guest
Like,
list.
wow.
Who, like some of the names?
Jay-Z, Beyonce,
Well, of
Stephen
course.
Colbert, Oprah, of course,
Those-
John Kerry, some of President Biden's people.
No Nancy Pelosi?
No Nancy Pelosi on the property, no, but she was in Martha's Vineyard, and they're not sure why she was in Martha's Vineyard because she doesn't live there. So one would suspect that she was trying to go to the party. David Letterman, Larry David, David Axelrod, Conan O'Brien. So quite the guest list for a 60th birthday party.
I guess we'll see how many celebrities end up with COVID over the next few weeks.
Hey, Chris, when you get a chance, can you find Fauci talking about how you need to be vaccinated even if you've already had COVID?
Sure.
Yeah, if you can find it was from Meet the Press as well.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, because this is the one that because every time there is no proof that you can go against something which kind of goes against, quote, vaccinations or immunity, it's like, crap, we got to come up with something. Well, Fauci is also going to address this as well when it comes to, well, that immunity thing, because more people were starting to talk about immunity. Right. What happened to our natural immunity? What happened to things being done in a natural sense? There really hadn't been any sort of rebuttal. And then, of course, let's call a Meet the Press, get Fauci back on and address all the issues. Of course, we'll see if Fauci gives us any science as to why you need to get this. And Chris, you can let me know whenever we're ready. Here is Fauci talking about why you need to get the vaccine even if you've already had COVID.
I had it already. I kicked its butt.
That seems to be, I've heard this frankly, from friends and family in my circle. Oh, I've had COVID. I don't need the vaccine yet. What do you say?
Well, there have been recent studies that clearly show that if you've had COVID, you might be protected for a while against the original virus that you were infected with. But when variants come along, you are vulnerable. And there was a study that came out within this past
what are
week
the studies
that showed that if you are infected, recover, and get one shot of the vaccine, your protection doubles what it would be if you got 2 shots of the vaccine and were not infected. So it is a major advantage.
What are the
for
studies,
people
Doctor? Who did the
who
study?
have been infected
Who
and
did the
recovered
study?
to really
Who paid for the
strongly
study?
protect them
That's what I
against
thought.
getting reinfected with a new variant. That's the reason why we strongly recommend that even if you have been infected, that you get vaccinated.
Let me get another.
And who is we recommend?
The pharmaceutical companies who are making all of the
Who
billions
recommend?
of dollars.
See, that's I would
on these
destroy. I would
vaccines.
destroy him in an interview. That's the
Yes.
problem. It's like, okay, well, first of all, if you ever quote, and that's if you find something that you like, you dislike. If you're Republican, Democrat, if you're going to quote a poll, who did the poll, who paid for the poll, and how was the poll done, or how was the quote study done? That's how you know what you know. What Fauci just did was like asking my fourth grader, or asking, my soon-to-be 8th grader, or asking a 4th grader, well, studies say. Oh, really? Yeah, well, I heard this, or I heard that. That is so remedial. That is America's top doc? Really? Really?
It's pretty scary.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, and it frustrates me because it's not real. The guy's he has turned into an absolute
fake.
Well, yeah, because, and it's not just, you just look at the evidence. I mean, there's nobody that can even stand up for it or back it. We know it's real. I'm sorry, I may upset people. I do think the vaccine can help people. I know there's been adverse reactions, and I know there's been some deaths, but I do think it, because the people I'm talking to in the hospital systems, they're talking about no people being in the ICUs who have been vaccinated. Okay. And we've talked about that in the beginning here. Yeah, there's certain people that vaccine would be probably good for, but you shouldn't have to be forced to get it and know your risk in taking it. My, oh, my. Oh, now immunity doesn't work. Okay, natural immunity is no good.
There are
Get
a
the vaccine.
bazillion studies out there you can read, as I did over the weekend, because when I saw my level 64 640.5. I thought, well, what is this level? Because it was a little bit higher the last time I tested. So I wanted to know, does that make a difference? And guess what? Every study I read stated that people have had natural immunity up to 11 months when the studies ended. It's not that the people's immunity ended, the study ended.
So what should you do after a year, though? Because this isn't going anywhere. Does anybody really think?
I think immunity lasts far longer than a year, but we're just not that far along for the studies to have continued that
Which
far.
is why you say you should get
Everybody
antibody
needs to get
testing
antibody
more
tested
regularly.
because then you know what your level is. Like right now with a level of 640, it's one of the highest levels. I feel 100% protected from COVID. It doesn't mean I won't get it or if I'm exposed to it, that I might not feel good for a day while my body catches on and starts to fight it. But I don't believe for 1 second I'm going to be sick or end up in an ICU.
You're not going to hear this from the national media, but there's more and more evidence. And if you go and research and look at all the outlets, you're going to see more vaccinated people spreading it as well. You really are. But that's not the narrative that's supposed to be out there. And you also see the businesses that are, quote, doing the vaccination cards. They're in very liberal areas, very hardcore blue areas. And it's sad because it is blue and red. It is. It just is. And these are people who I guarantee if you own businesses, they're educated. And the fact that they don't know or they're just going to turn a blind eye to the fact that people who are vaccinated spread it every bit the same as people who are unvaccinated, that's insane. I mean, really? So anyway, that's where we're left dealing with that. So a lot of sound coming out today, hearing from Dr. Fauci on his spot. What are you giggling about?
Nothing. I was mismanaging the cameras.
Okay. Well, we ask you to do a lot sometimes. When do you have to go over there? So get your antibody test, and then you can actually go out and show people what's going on with that. Okay. Did we cover all of the craziness with vaccines and COVID and everything else from the weekend?
I believe we did. And I just want to push one more time. Go out, get your antibody test, because guess what? That antibody test, if you go get the blood test, it will tell you your antibody level, and that is your immunity card. When somebody says, where's your vaccine card? You give them your immune card to say, hey, this is my level of antibodies. I am more immune than the next vaccinated person you let in.
Well, this is interesting, too. And these are the things you're not going to hear from a national standpoint, national media-wise, even local media. One of our listeners goes, I do believe the vax are spreading it. My father-in-law had the jab, then caught it. So he got the vaccine, then got COVID. Oh, my God, but it's supposed to help him. And then went to the hospital, which is not supposed to happen. Oh, it's supposed to make your symptoms less. I would think that would be not going to the hospital.
Well, Vic, I'm going to blow your mind in a second.
And everyone that then went and visited her father-in-law got COVID.
Well, guess what?
Oh, but you're not going to hear about that anywhere else, are you?
I
No.
think you might soon. I mean, of course, I know the media plays a big role in what information they choose to spread. I read a report late last night. I didn't have time to share it. It was pretty late at night. That said that there's new studies out that show that vaccinated people actually transmit the virus more than if they had natural COVID.
Okay.
It is proving that it is more transmissible amongst vaccinated people.
Okay. That could be mind-blowing, but here's our issue, Tabitha.
Who's going to report on it?
No, where's the study coming from? Who did the study?
I'm going to look for that because I'm going to post it on my Facebook page today.
In this day and age, you have to...
It looked like a reputable study.
A what?
It looked like a reputable study.
What's a reputable?
Did I believe it? That it's probably
reputable?
True. Reputable. Sorry. Yes.
And I... Oh
the other day,
I wasn't trying to make fun of you.
No, I'm glad you did, because the other day I'm a very good speller, and I actually spelled cloudy, Clowdy, and I'm like, what in the world am I doing? No, I thank you for the correction.
Oh, so we can use. Okay, we just need to know in this day and age, especially when you're dealing with what we deal with the Faucis of the world and misinformation, and only because of what we have seen happen for well over a year. We got to show the studies back up and show
exactly
who did it.
And it was late and I didn't look. I don't recall, but I will post it on my Facebook page today if anyone wants to see that. And maybe we can talk about it tomorrow if it seems legit enough.
And see, and I just looked down, Drew, but here's the thing. Drew, I love you, buddy. But here's the problem that we have. You say natural immunity won't get you in any business. You need proof of vaccination. Okay. I know you're pushing for this, Drew, because you think it's coming. But here's the problem, Drew. How do you think it's really going to help anybody? It's not. No. And now more evidence is starting to get out there, even in mainstream media, regarding what even Dr. Tannehill last week, who you loved and said it was about time we got somebody on the show, even said it, my man. He's like, yeah. He's like, it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. He said the vaccination card should not be put out there because they don't help you. It doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, if you're around vaccinated or unvaccinated. The virus, because it's so serious, spreads regardless.
Exactly. But people like Drew feel
and by
safe
the way, when I say I love
vaccinated.
you, Drew, I appreciate the fact that he will bring a different opinion to the table.
Oh, yeah, and we need different opinions. We can't all think alike. And we have to admit that there is an entire other population out there who believes opposite of us. But what worries me is that people like Drew, they are going to go into a restaurant or a club of fully vaccinated people, and they're going to feel protected.
And they're not protected.
And they're not protected. They're actually vulnerable. Now, maybe they're not going to die. Maybe they won't end up in the ICU, but they could still end up having COVID, and they will still transmit it to people they love that maybe could be more susceptible.
Just like the story we just heard. And
Exactly.
Those situations are happening. We're not here to scare you. We've never been,
No.
don't do this, don't do that. If you want the vaccine, get it. You should have the choice. You should not be forced. And we want correct information being put out there. That's why we talk to the doctors we do.
Exactly.
Vaccinated or unvaccinated does not matter. So the cards, whether and the doctors, the businesses who are doing this, it's kind of like the mask. You want to feel like you're doing something. Well, I want to feel like I'm doing something. All right, where's your scientific evidence? Just like mask. There's zero evidence showing that masks are working. Oh, but we need to mask because masks are going to... Okay, great. My kid will be in a mask 24/7. Show me the scientific data. There isn't any right now, and that's what's frustrating.
And where is the message that people need to be working on their immune system? Where is that message?
We haven't.
That your true
haven't talked about
protection
it,
is
except on
building...
this show.
Exactly, is building your immune system. The first thing I said to Eric this morning when he texted me, I said, make sure you're taking your vitamin D, your vitamin C, take famotidine. That's very common with COVID infection. If he has COVID, take famotidine. Obviously, he's already taken his ivermectin, which is step number 1. And what I was told by Dr. Naputi is to drink bone broth with some pink Himalayan salt. And you know what? A lot of people who follow that regimen feel better, I think, a little bit quicker than had they not. And that's a regimen I think people need to follow, even if you are not sick, because you need to build up your immune system. And of course, your zinc. We can't forget your zinc.
And of course, we appreciate everybody who joins the Facebook line and tells us some of the situations that they had. Stacy, thanks for letting us know that. Stacy said she just called the St. Charles Health Department and asked why they are only quarantining the unvaccinated in schools. The person on the other end of the call said, well, that's because, quote, the vaccinated have a lower viral load per the CDC.
That's absolutely not true.
And that is not true.
That is 100% not true. Even according to the CD, it is 100% not
According
true.
to the who?
CDC. I posted a CDC statement the other day that said the viral load between vaccinated and unvaccinated is not differential. It is exactly the same. It is exactly the same.
And can you explain viral load again for
Yes,
people?
viral load is whenever you become... Whenever you are exposed to COVID, the COVID enters your nose, and that is where your viral load is found. It is how many cells you have inside your nose when you do your test.
So there's your answer to the viral load in regards to where we are, vaccinated or unvaccinated, and whether there's cards, whether there's not. That's the key. And by the way, there may be more people that are trying to say, "Oh, you got to have a vaccination card," but so far, it's only been in the St. Louis area. A handful. You may get more places, and they're in very, very hardcore. And this is what's sad: blue areas, liberal areas, and that's why this is a political deal. And it is. It's a political, whatever way you are. It is. COVID's real. COVID sucks. COVID can be very serious. Vaccinations can help you with symptoms. They've shown to. There have also been people who have suffered severe adverse reactions, and even death. You got to make that call yourself.
Absolutely.
Once again, that's what this show is about. Separating fact from fiction, trying to give you the best information possible by talking to all the doctors that we possibly can, including those in ICUs, including the head of the ICU in Mercy, saying it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated, you can spread the virus.
No question.
I mean, this is pretty simple when you break it down. The problem is with messaging from a national standpoint, even local, when you continue to hear it. Hey, are kids getting what we're calling COVID more so right now than they had? Yeah, that's what they're showing to. Could it be the flu? You better damn well believe it could be. How do we know it still could be the flu? Because we're not testing. And there's no differential from the tests that are showing it right there. That's why you have the main PCR test going away December 31st of 2021. The whole idea is to get a test in 2022 that will actually show you, I repeat, show you in 2022 whether it's the flu or COVID or the variant, because there is no test that does all of that. Once again, for those who might just be joining us, and I know this from talking to the local hospitals, the only way you're going to know if you have the variant is your sample has to be sent separately to the CDC.
Absolutely.
And it still takes 3 weeks to get it at that point in time to find out.
Absolutely. And Vic, I want to point
out.
So
take us back 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Oh my God, we've been told for 2 months that it's surging. Really? Yet we didn't have people testing, and
well,
those
that
samples
was from
were
the sewer samples. They test the sewer samples and they say, okay, the Delta variant is
but
in
it
your
wasn't,
community.
But here's the thing. Exactly. But we didn't know if it was in people.
Absolutely.
That's the problem.
Exactly. They were only testing sewage.
People?
And I read a study last night again by the CDC. I was doing a lot of homework last night, looking at some various studies. The CDC pointed out that children who ended up in the ICU with COVID infection, 63% of those children were obese or had diabetes, with the majority of that 63% being obese.
Yeah.
And the other percentage, almost every child in the ICU had some type of other condition. 8% had asthma.
But I also noticed, and it's something that families sometimes don't want to listen to, because it's sad. If you're obese or if you have a child that's obese.
Absolutely.
You're like, well, my kid matters too. Yeah, they do, which is why we have to do our best to stay as healthy as possible, especially when a virus, which all the evidence shows happened in a lab, attacks you and your country in this world.
Absolutely. And you know why? I've been told that the reason why obesity plays such a big role is because body fat causes inflammation, and inflammation plays a huge role with COVID, a huge role. If you have a lot of inflammation in your body from various causes, that is going to cause you to have potentially more severe symptoms.
That's already a fast hour. I mean, can it go any faster than that? Hell no, it doesn't. That's what we do here on The Edge. 100.7 The Viper. You can stream us on the web, viperrocks.com. Take us anywhere you go. Plus, give us a phone call at any time. The phone number 636-695-2915, 636-695-2915. Love to get your calls as well. And, of course, you can always jump in on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper. Eric Johnson's sick. We gave some of his details earlier. We don't know what's going on with Eric. But whether you have the flu or something else or just a bad cold, of course, pray for Eric to get better there. Nobody wants to deal with that, especially on a Monday. Chris Knight's here, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. When we come back, we'll have your morning headlines. We'll also talk about some other things that are going on from the weekend. Crime is running rampant. A horrible situation that happened in Chicago, another one in St. Louis, and also video that just goes to show what can happen just walking down the street from Seattle, of all places. You just get attacked and beaten and knocked down, and nothing happens to you. But we want to defund the police. Also, former NYPD chief calling out Cori Bush, basically calling her stupid. We'll get into it. Man, there's so much to get into. All right, hope we can get to it all the next hour. You're listening to The Edge. Back right after this on the other side of the break. It's 8:56.
Grab your coffee. The Morning Edge will be right back on 100.7 The Viper.
Hi, this is Eric Joya, sales manager at the all-new Travers Automotive and RV at I-70 and TR Hughes. I'm personally inviting you to come see our awesome selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Travers Automotive and RV has the largest inventory of lifted trucks and Jeep Wranglers in the market. Our new location also has RVs from Mesa Ridge and Open Range, and a huge selection of pre-owned as well. Come see me and my team at Travers Automotive and RV, I-70 at TR Hughes, TraversAutoandRV.com.
Hi, it's Julie again with Ben's Moving and Storage in Wentzville, Missouri, located at the intersection of Wilmer Road and Interstate Drive. We offer on-site security and 24/7 access. We are proud to have served as your one-stop shop for all your moving and storage needs since 1984. Right now, we are offering $25 off moving or a free month storage for new customers. For more information, visit us at bensmovingandstorage.com, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook for future storage sales. Ben's Moving and Storage in Wentzville.
It's like I blinked, and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now, my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Wake up! The Edge Morning Show.
Need flooring?
Get your flooring installed correctly
At Flooring Correct in Wentzville for carpet, laminate, vinyl, wood plank, and more. FlooringCorrect.com.
Here's a message for Quiver River Electric members. Vote now in your annual Board of Directors election through August 23rd. Members may vote online, by paper ballot, or at the annual meeting on August 26th. If you vote, you are automatically entered into a drawing for free electricity prizes. Learn more about the voting process, the bylaw proposition on the ballot, and board candidates at quiver.com or call 1-800-392-3709.
Hi, it's Julie again with Ben's Moving and Storage in Wentzville, Missouri, located at the intersection of Wilmer Road and Interstate Drive. We offer on-site security and 24/7 access. We are proud to have served as your one-stop shop for all your moving and storage needs since 1984. Right now, we are offering $25 off moving or a free month storage for new customers. For more information, visit us at bensmovingandstorage.com, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook for future storage sales. Ben's Moving and Storage in Wentzville.
An important part of staying healthy is keeping up with your regular preventative exams like mammograms and colonoscopies. Barnes-Jewish St. Peter's Hospital and Progress West Hospital offer convenient locations for you to keep on schedule with your screenings and with extra protocols in place to keep you safe during your visit. Early detection is your best medicine. To schedule an appointment, call 636-928-WELL or visit bjcstcharlescounty.org.
Let's start with everyone out there looking to catch up on some much-needed summer fun. Narrow it to all those summer fun seekers who got caught without sunscreen. Oh, for you, Walgreens now offers delivery in as little as 1 hour. From sunscreen to bug spray to snacks and toys, Walgreens makes it easy to get the essentials you need quickly so you can keep your summer going.
Right now, buy 2, get 1 free on all 12-pack soft drinks. Of equal or lesser price, valid through 8/21. Restrictions apply. See Walgreens.com for details.
Now another hour of The Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles. The Edge Morning Show.
Spectrum Glass is known for their quality work on windshields, but they do so much more. Spectrum Glass also specializes in residential, commercial, and automotive window tinting. Reduce the heat, reduce the fading, and increase your comfort with professional window tinting from Spectrum Glass. Serving St. Charles and surrounding counties since 1995, Spectrum Glass is still your premier company for windshield replacement. And with free mobile service, they come to you. 636-294-1800 on Facebook and SpectrumGlassOnline.com.
Viper Weather with legendary chief meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Viper meteorologist Dave Murray with my forecast for the week ahead on this Monday. It's hot, it's humid, but there will be some scattered rain and thunderstorms around. 92 for the high this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy, very humid, 75. Tuesday on track to be the hottest of the week. Partly to mostly sunny skies, hot and humid, 98 to 100 degrees Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday and Thursday still hot and humid. Each day about 95 with a couple of pop thunderstorms Wednesday and again on Thursday. Slightly cooler air coming in Friday and for the upcoming weekend. Slightly the key word there. From the Viper Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Now back to the Edge on 100.7, The Viper.
Quiver River Electric, a Touchstone Energy cooperative. The Edge Morning Show.
Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Well, let's put it in this headlines. Maybe we'll talk more about it today. But the Olympics ended, and the Americans were on a surge, a true surge, a positive surge to end the games. They ended up overtaking China for overall golds in the final day, believe it or not. Of course, thanks to women. Women dominated our Olympics. Our women freaking rock. 39 golds to 38 for China. We also won the overall total medal count. It wasn't even close. 113 total medals, 25 more than second place China as well. So congratulations to all the Americans who did fantastic. I stayed up late. You guys know I love volleyball, beach volleyball and regular volleyball.
Yeah, me too.
Of course you do.
I like it all. I do. And our women's volleyball team won their first gold medal ever. It was awesome. I stayed up to about 1:15 in the morning watching it because even though I never played volleyball and I loved it, Karch Karai was one of my heroes. Tabitha, you have no idea who Karch Karai is.
I have no idea.
Of course
you are
you don't.
correct.
He's the only man to win a volleyball gold, then win a sand volleyball gold, beach volleyball gold, and be a gold as a coach.
I only watch men's gymnastics. I don't know.
Oh, dear God. Okay, anyway, I got you. Cardinals lost again yesterday. No need to talk about them. They're no good this year, and I've been saying it for 2 months. Sorry. There you go. When it comes to our news standpoint, today marks the 7th anniversary of Michael Brown's death. The United States Postal Service slowing some mail delivery starting October 1st. They say that they're having to do that to be able to get everything out in time. Sad story. A 53-year-old St. Louis man was killed in a collision after teens who were 16 and 17 stole a car. They were fleeing police, ran a red light, hit him, knocked his car up in the air on its side. It caught on fire. This guy died, 53 years old. The kids were arrested and taken to jail. Tabitha's predicting that Governor Cuomo is going to step down today. I don't think he is.
He's on limited time.
His top aide quit now. The cards continue to fall. We'll see where that goes. If you get vaccinated, you get some free Cardinals tickets at St. Louis County events as well. Oh, man, I ran out of time talking about the Olympics. That's Look at Your Morning Headlines. I'm Vic Faust.
The Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the one and only Edge with Eric Johnson. Even though he's sick, he's not here today. We'll keep you posted. If he can't come in the next day or two or whatever it is, we'll have guest hosts come in. That's what we do. Chris Knight's here running the ship. By the way, Chris does an amazing job with our board. We take it for granted. But
thank you.
You're amazing with that board.
We do, because when I'm over there, I'm like, I don't know how to do
I
anything.
throw things at Chris so fast, and he does it. And it's not the listener's job to know what we have to do. It's just,
Absolutely.
It's just supposed to hear. But
And
it's
things
good.
run so smoothly with Chris
That's how we
over
work
there.
in TV, too. Producers follow the anchors.
I think it would be fun to do that.
What, come be a producer for TV?
Yeah. Hit all the buttons, all the switches, make it look pretty.
I don't know. You guys, it's like you're driving the Starship. That's for sure. Something for sure. Tabitha Hassell's here. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Hope you guys had a terrific weekend. I was talking about the Olympics. It was fun to watch the Americans make a big push towards the end. And I love the fact that when you look at the Olympic Games from start to finish, outside of the women's soccer team, who, they failed. They got a bronze. I'm sorry. That's failing when your mission is gold. Outside of them taking a knee and kind of not being patriotic, I can't think of other instances where the Americans weren't. It was all about the flag. It was all about the country. And most being African Americans.
Yes.
Which was even more encouraging to watch them and see how they felt. and the Sydney McLaughlins of the world, the runners. I mean, just the Allison Felixes, the wrestler who I loved, Tamara Mensah Scott, and just loving this country and the flag.
It was really wonderful.
And
to
I
see.
thought to myself on Saturday night after watching the Americans win the gold in volleyball, I was so happy. I felt the Olympics came at a great time after what we had witnessed and experienced the last year, and not caring about country or the Olympics come, and then you see more of a push to love country, to respect our flag, even for all the problems that we have in our country, and some of the racial injustices and systemic
We're not a perfect
inequality.
country.
Yes, exactly.
It's not a perfect country, really, for any of us. There are so many things happening in this country right now that I'm so disappointed in with our leadership. Afghanistan is a prime example, but guess what? I'm still proud to be an American. I'm still proud of our flag. I will still fly our flag high, and I'm still a patriot. Because guess what? The citizens, we are the most free country in the world.
And thankfully, the Olympics came when they did. And then now we have the Winter Olympics right around the corner, and the Summer Olympics will only be in 3 years from now. So we're going to have a lot of Olympics in the next 3 years. From the Facebook line, of course, we take your questions on the Facebook line, 100.7 The Viper. And, of course, you can give us a call, 636-695-2915, 636-695-2915. This will be a question for Chris. Chris, what happened to the young girl that was joining the show? I think they're referring to Mac, who was on the show 2 Fridays ago. Mac is on when?
She's on every day, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. She follows Shani.
Correct.
So she's in the afternoon.
That's right.
Yeah, she came on the show as an introductory into the Viper.
We might have her on at some point in time. Right, Chris? Maybe?
Sure. She's a millennial. Why not?
To bring in the millennial.
As long as we don't talk to her about politics. She does not want to talk about politics.
Well, she talked some politics.
She did, because Eric forced her to.
And she was okay with it. She did a good job.
Yeah,
with
she
it.
did. We put her on the spot, and Mac did all right, and she's in her 20s. And
very sweet girl.
And then dealing with this crew, and Eric's like putting all the pressure on her as he did. And you were nice to her that day as well, Tabitha. You didn't really.
I tried to save her. I'm like, a music DJ does not want to come on the radio and talk about politics, because then they're going to. Well, most people who play music do not want people to know their political affiliations.
Yeah, and
I kind of think she knew what she was in for, though.
Well, from
I'm
the
sure she
Facebook
did.
line, she's a liberal, millennial Mac. Yeah, she is. And you know what? That's her freedom to choose that.
Absolutely. So that's what we all fight for every day.
And she was who she was. I just remember talking to her. She's like, yeah, I felt pressure. Like I had to get the vaccine for my friends, or I was going to be, scarlet lettered if I didn't get the vaccine. And of course, she also told us she had friends who got the vaccine and then got COVID, because the vaccine does not stop you from getting COVID, as we've been talking about today as well. Okay. We're still talking about some of the craziness, the COVID from the weekend, calling out the Fauci calling out the Sturgis bike party in South Dakota, but not calling out the 400-person former President Barack Obama birthday party or the almost 400,000 Lollapalooza party. But we're going to focus on Sturgis. There's going to be a super spreader event there. Okay.
Of course.
And there hasn't been a horrible increase of cases in Milwaukee from 60,000 people in the streets on each other 3 weeks ago either.
It's just, it's a bigger plan, Vic.
On
It's
top
not
of
even
each
about
other
COVID.
with no mask.
It's about censoring and stifling conservatives. Anytime conservatives want to gather in groups, they're going to say, no, you can't do that for X number of reasons. It doesn't, even if COVID was gone, they'd find another reason why we can't gather.
It just be truthful. That's why I beg and I'm fighting, and it's getting. Let's just say I'm fighting wherever I'm on, and I'm trying to get all the attention out. From Terry on the Facebook line, we attended a wedding in Illinois last week, and in our group of 14, they had a group of 14 at a wedding in Illinois. They had 3 vaccinated people test positive for COVID, 2 unvaccinated people test positive. So 5 people test positive out of their group of 14, 3 vaccinated, 2 unvaccinated. We take vitamin D3 and zinc every day. That's awesome that you should. And the only one in my family that tested positive was my daughter. She had minor cold-like symptoms, but because of her job, we had to get her tested compared to the vaccinated people who are actually suffering more intense symptoms. They didn't have to because they were vaccinated. The doctor actually had the nerve to tell me that my daughter could get her vaccine in 90 days. I said, why would I do that when she'll have antibodies and she's proof that good health and good supplements work? These are the kind of situations people are dealing with.
Absolutely.
When I challenged my doctor about my younger 13-year-old when they were wanting him to get vaccinated when he was doing his physical a week and a half ago, and I gave him the stats and everything that's been said to us from the get-go, I said, am I wrong? He said, no, you're not. And he didn't say, well, I recommend it again. He just said, I understand where you're coming from.
Right. As it should be.
But when my kids were back getting their physicals at first, they were talking to my kids about vaccines and if they've gotten them and if they would like to get them when I wasn't back there. Then I was brought back and spoke to the doctor, and he agreed with me. It's what's going on. It's some of the stuff. That's what happened. So we'll continue to talk about that, take your questions as well. But we do need to get into the situation, and it's sad. We had an officer in Chicago, just got married over the weekend in Chicago. Her and another officer go up for a traffic stop. She's ambushed. Officer French, Ella French, just 29 years old, just had a baby a few months ago. The suspect who shot the officers had an extensive criminal history of robbery, which in Chicago, this blew my mind. Robbery, not considered to be a violent crime. Did you know that?
I do know that, and it's
I did
insane.
not know that.
It is insane. Robbery is absolutely a violent crime.
It's not classified as a violent crime.
It's insane.
So you mean people, when you get robbed, give me your stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't consider that to be violent.
How can robbery not be a violent crime?
It is a violent crime.
Is that just Chicago?
No, that's common.
So robbery is not considered a violent crime in St. Louis City. I didn't know
about
that.
St. Louis City,
or St. Louis County.
But it's
that's
not,
what I didn't know, and I was hoping you would know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's really unfortunate that a lot of the crimes that do take place are not considered violent crimes. And I really have no idea, and I would love to know why that is. Because people end up receiving less charges when they claim a crime is not violence.
That is unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
If you find that to be shocking, let your legislators
look
know.
at what's happening, Vic, in St. Louis City, in St. Louis County, in some instances where they're saying that crimes like robbery, like certain types of sexual assault, those are misdemeanors in some areas.
The local laws in Chicago make it possible for repeat offenders to be out in public. This was a repeat offender who should have been locked up because robbery wasn't considered a violent crime. This guy now kills 29-year-old Ella French just doing her job. She could be doing a whole lot of other things, but she's making a whole lot less money, doing an admirable job as a police officer to try to help people. And she's shot and killed, murdered. Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage in Chicago? Where's Lori Lightfoot? Seriously, where are they? Where are they changing things? They're not. Just sad. Why they're not locked up. The criminals, we can take care of this. And you can hear people say, well, you can't police yourself out of... Yeah, okay, get it. Parts of that I agree with. But repeat offenders, robbery, really? And we're not going to say that that's a serious situation?
Well, they want to decriminalize most of those charges these days. I mean, those are the violent offenders that we're letting back on the streets. We don't want to call it violent. You know, I looked up the statistics this morning. There have been around 70 police officers who have been killed in the line of duty in 2021.
What?
70.
Around the country?
Around the country. And this is a combination of police officers being shot, being stabbed, A couple of them were killed in pursuits of criminals. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous. But 194 police officers died as a total in line of duty deaths in 2021. But some of those were illnesses, heart attacks, etc. But about 70 of them died due to criminal type assaults on them. It's unbelievable. It's unacceptable.
And the defund the police message, whether people agree with it or not, all it's done is cause division. It's caused more and more division.
And social workers. There was a social worker injured over the weekend in an assault on a police officer. I mean, it is really getting it. And when are they going to start tallying up the social workers who are injured or killed when they're responding to these calls with police officers?
Well, police told me that's the next thing. It will happen.
It will happen because it is happening. They are getting assaulted.
Well, now you have Cori Bush saying what she said in the state and done all along. And, you know, she's getting ripped nationwide for, I have $70,000 on security detail, but funding the police, the money for police and the money that was going to go for SWAT teams and tear gas and rubber bullets, that all money needs to go to social programs. Eric Schmidt called her out, so they're battling back and forth. Then you have former NYPD Commissioner Ray Kelly calling Cori Bush's statements to defund the police after she admitted to spending $70,000 on private security, quote, stupidest political move ever. But what he doesn't realize is Cori Bush will win her next election in a landslide. But that's a fact. That will happen.
And that's your taxpayer money, by the way. $70,000, that's your taxpayer money.
So the violence is out of control. Then we've heard of these situations happening before. Also over the weekend, another sad story. You have a man killed in a collision, and it was worse than a collision.
Oh, it was awful. Awful.
You have teens, 16, 17-year-olds, stealing a car in the middle of the day. I mean, literally, this happened at 3:40 in the afternoon. Teens steal a car. Police are chasing them right near the intersection of Evans and Vandeventer Avenues. Run a red light. No care in the world. Slam into a 53-year-old man's cars. Flying it in the air. Imagine just sitting there and all of a sudden you get slammed into, your car goes airborne. It flips on top, bursts in the fire, and you die.
Exactly.
Police dragged the man out of the truck, but it was too late.
What a sad,
pronounced dead
sad
at the
story.
scene shortly after.
And that's just one of many. I mean, that's one we're talking about, but it's one of many. It's unfortunate that people in this city drive like maniacs. They don't stop at stop signs. They don't stop at stop signals. They don't stop at red lights. They drive around cars that are stopped, and they have accidents, and people do get injured and killed.
So now you've got 16 and 17-year-old kids. They were taken to the hospital and then arrested. What happens to them? What happens?
Well, they'll probably be let out of jail, obviously.
Yeah, I would think so.
And I mean, that would probably be like a manslaughter charge. I don't even know, but either way, we already know what the history is in this town of prosecutions.
Not good.
They don't prosecute people who we know murdered people or who have even confessed to homicides. So why are they going to prosecute these people?
From the Facebook,
and they're juvenile, so nothing's going to happen to them.
16 and 17-year-olds and a 53-year-old man.
Yeah, nothing will happen to them.
Knocked, probably unconscious, burned to death, pulled out of a car too late.
They'll be out stealing another car in a month or two.
From Joe Patterson, who has connections with police.
Yes.
Interesting point. He's like, New York City policed itself out of high crime numbers by employing broken windows. I don't know what that means, but basically the point is New York City, when Rudy Giuliani came on, hired more police, went after it. They hired them. They actually policed themselves out of a situation, I think is his point there. The kids should be prosecuted as adults. It will send a better message to the kids. That coming from the Facebook line as well, so they're not doing that. If they're old enough to know better, then they should be in prison.
I agree, but unfortunately,
those
that's
punks
not
will get away
in the
with
city.
it or get minimal punishment. This all coming from the Facebook line, not me saying that.
And there was fake news over the weekend. I believe it might have been from KMOV. I don't know if you
And
saw this,
finally,
Vic.
real quick, as bad
Yeah.
as things are getting, just imagine how bad it's going to be in a couple of years if you think if it's bad now.
It's going to be bad, and they're already starting the campaign of denial.
What's the fake news that you were telling me about?
I believe it was on KMOV. I'll have to go back and look. But they stated that crime in St. Louis is down.
Well, here's
lies.
Why.
It's all
That's
lies.
all coming from the murders, the homicide.
It's
because
all lies.
We're not at the record-setting pace of last year right now. So that's why they're touting, there being St. Louis City, that crime is down.
Crime is up. Crime is up.
When you say crime is up, 70%. What do you mean?
I'm talking about a combination of all crime, whether that's vehicle thefts, assaults, robberies, rapes. All crime is up. We know it's up. They weren't posting the statistics for months, and then they finally started. We know crime is up. They cannot lie to us. We're not stupid.
And I don't know what's going to happen. I just know now we don't have a...
Oh, it's STLtoday.com who posted that.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the post.
Yeah, right.
And
Liars.
Then St. Louis County right now is... Well, they have an interim police chief. So we're going to find out who they end up hiring. But, just after over a year, they got rid of Mary Barton. And that's what happened. She didn't resign because she didn't want the job. She said that she wanted to stay and planned on staying and loved that job. So she's gone now.
I think it'll be Captain Juan Cox, is who I'm told is going to be her replacement.
Did you talk to Chief Barton last week?
You know what? I did. Privately.
I thought so.
But we didn't, I didn't do anything. She's not allowed to speak right now, but if she ever speaks, it'll be with me and Fox 2.
Yeah, well, she filed a claim with the EEOC.
But I thought that's done now. She got a payout, Tabitha.
Oh, okay. I did not realize she got the payout.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's why, and a major one. And it doesn't make any sense why St. Louis County. I mean, we reported on Fox 2 it was over $300,000.
Right.
And then the St. Louis Society of Ethical Police got upset, saying, why would you give her a massive payout if you're saying she did all these things wrong? Or if she's, quote, resigning.
Right.
So it's...
Well, they worked that payout fast, didn't they?
So, once again, in life, if you just don't get caught up in all of the minutia around, it's just like with COVID. It's pretty simple. You look at the messages and the initial messages, and you connect A to B. Don't get caught up with everything else that's out there, because in your head will be spinning, and before you know it, you'll be saying, oh, yeah, the vaccine's going to protect me from getting COVID. No. What? That's what they told me. If I get COVID, I'll never get COVID again if I get the vaccine. No, we changed. We changed that now. Really? Oh, okay. All right. Well, then I back that. No. It's frustrating. All of it is. It doesn't make sense. We got to take a quick break. Damn, oh, damn, this is going by fast. Fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. We love it. That's why we do it. We appreciate you as well. Share the show. 100.7 The Viper. Eric Johnson not here today, by the way, for just joining us. He's sick. We'll keep you posted on Eric to see what's going on with that. Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. If you want to give us a call, the phone number 636-695-2915. Plus, as we haven't said today, Tabitha, the update. We're still on YouTube, right?
You know what? We are still on YouTube.
Golly, Miss Molly. How is that happening? We love it if you follow us.
Yeah, 1 strike out of 3. 3 were out.
And you can always catch us as well at ViperRocks.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll come right back with more. You're listening to The Edge.
Show is coming right back.
Our homes are where we feel the most happy, safe, and secure. So when you see cracked drywall, uneven floors, or basement wall cracks, you want to make sure it's fixed forever. Woods Basement Systems, the all things basementy experts, can restore your home's value. So call toll-free at 888-900-1721 for a free estimate. Foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with Woods Basement Systems. Discount offer from Woods at viperbasements.com. That's viperbasements.com.
One of the things we're so dependent upon is our automobiles. There's no worse feeling when you go out to your car and it won't start. Oh, man. Tired of trying to find an honest, reliable mechanic for your car and truck? Town and County Garage in Wright City has kept the Westplex on the road since 1972. The biggest compliment to a company is repeat customers and referrals. When you need honest, reliable, and affordable auto repair from inspections, brakes to engine work, call Town and County Garage in Wright City, 636-745-3626.
Good morning, privates! Good morning, Drill Sergeant! I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping. You seem to be in a good mood today. Astute observation, Private. Astute.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone? Yes, Drill Sergeant!
Have a change of heart with Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
As a trauma-informed provider, Compass Health Network is equipped to assist you or a loved one struggling with trauma, anxiety, depression, substance use disorder, or other behavioral health conditions. Our providers understand that everyone's life experiences are different and will work with you in person or virtually to develop the most effective plan of care. You are not alone. Call Compass Health Network today at 844-853-8937 or visit compasshealthnetwork.org for more information.
Time for some upgrades? A new deck, a privacy fence, or maybe a whole new look with new siding. But who do you call? What you gonna do? Call Bad Boys Construction LLC. They are locally owned and have over 30 years experience in every kind of fencing, siding, and deck jobs. Free estimates and everything is done right the first time. Bad Boys Construction is veteran owned and gives military discounts. So what you gonna do? Call Bad Boys Construction LLC. Online at badboysconstructionllc.godaddysites.com. On Facebook at Bad Boys Construction LLC.
You want a great job, and you want it now. Steel and Pipe in Jonesburg is hiring warehouse specialists right now for second and third shifts. Get great pay and awesome benefits like production bonuses, 401k with employer match, and paid holidays, plus medical, dental, vision, and supplementary insurance. Find out more and apply online at steelandpipe.com. Steel and Pipe in Jonesburg is looking for the right people right now. Apply in person or online at steelandpipe.com.
Are you a business owner looking for funding? Greenbox Capital is here to help by providing easy working capital loans in as little as 24 hours. Visit greenboxcapital.com/apply now to fill out a short form and get started today. With funding from $3,000 to $500,000, Greenbox Capital can help. Visit greenboxcapital.com/apply now to receive a special offer of 10% off cost of working capital. Greenboxcapital.com/apply now and get business funding needed without stress from traditional lenders. Greenboxcapital.com/apply now. Fast funding for small businesses.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. You're listening to The Edge. Eric Johnson's out sick. Chris Knight's here. Tabitha Hassell and Big Faust from Fox 2. Did you guys know we have 0 years left to avoid dangerous climate change?
What?
Really?
Earth is warming faster than previously thought, says a scientist.
And he asked for how many millions of dollars to fund his research?
The window is closing to avoid catastrophic outcomes.
Lies, people. It's all lies.
That was going to be my next question. Says who?
Well,
lies.
Not Dave Murray.
Lies and propaganda.
Dave wouldn't say
We've
that.
asked the legendary Dave Murray that question before, and he's explained to it. We also will get Dave back on, as we've talked about, if you guys don't remember, to talk about what's real and what's not.
Climate change is not real. Pollution is.
When it comes to the actual science, the actual data, when it comes to warming or what is global warming.
The weather is cyclical. It warms and it cools. And we're at the peak of the heat cycle, and the Earth is actually going to start cooling again.
The State of Science report from the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel. That's where it comes on climate
Liars.
change. Says, hold on, let me finish. The world has rapidly warmed 1.1 degrees Celsius higher than pre-industrial levels and is now careening toward 1.5 degrees. A critical threshold that world leaders agreed warming should remain below to avoid worsening impacts. Now you can say it, Tabitha.
Liars,
okay, there
liars,
you go.
liars. It's all a scam to get your money. Yes, we need to clean our water. We have one supply of water. You know, a lot of people actually believe the Earth makes new water the earth does not make new water. We were giving one body of water, and we have to keep it clean, and we have to plant trees, and we have to grow oxygen, and we have to stop using pesticides and stop killing the bees. But guess what? None of that stuff has anything to do with global warming. None of it.
One other headline I wanted to throw out at you. We may not have time right now, but we'll get back on Colonel Joe Adams because you had the idea in the break.
Yes, I would love to talk to Colonel Joe
Taliban
Adams again.
spokesperson now coming out publicly warning the U.S. against any further intervention in Afghanistan.
We're in big trouble. We are in big trouble.
Why are you saying we're in big trouble?
Well,
I have not studied the international situation as much as you have because I've been so caught up in COVID and testing and what's real, what's not, the ICUs, and of course our local crime.
Absolutely. The big deal is, Pakistan is funding the Taliban. And what's going on is much like how the United States left Iraq and left all of our equipment there, which created ISIS. Guess what we did in Afghanistan? We did the exact same thing. Biden just took a page out of Obama's playbook. We withdrew our troops from Afghanistan, but guess what? We left nearly 1,000 military vehicles there, including tanks. We left thousands of rounds of ammunition. We left multitudes, billions of dollars worth of weapons, including billions of dollars worth of weapons, vehicles, and ammunition in Afghanistan. And guess what happened? As soon as we withdrew, the Taliban took that equipment, they took those vehicles, they took those weapons, and that includes like grenade launchers, some very serious weapons. And guess what they're doing now? They are seizing town by town, region by region throughout Afghanistan. And the Afghans are fleeing. They are fleeing by the millions, and they are being slaughtered. Thousands of people are being killed by the Taliban. Even when Afghan soldiers surrender, many of them are still shot and killed by Taliban. It is absolutely awful what's taking place over there. And guess what? It is our fault. It is Biden's fault. And this is why people hate the United States. This is why countries chant death to America, because these people who live in Afghanistan, these innocent Afghans, are being slaughtered because of us and because of Pakistan. And of course people are going to hate us. It's unacceptable.
Joe Biden made a pretty bad mistake, in my opinion. George W. Bush came out and didn't have very nice things to say neither about the situation to the east with leaving all of our military equipment over there. What do you think's going to happen? Nothing good.
Absolutely
it's
nothing
the first
good.
time
good.
Former Bush has actually come out and said anything negative about Biden or Obama, because he said he would never come out and say anything against anybody, any former president. He just wanted to sit in his room and paint. God bless George Bush. But he did talk about how serious that was. And the reason that I even brought that up, Tabitha, is because we were talking about it during the break.
Yeah, that's something I always research is world news. I'm an insomniac, so I read a lot. And I've been posting about it on my own personal page. It is one of the biggest topics that's going on right now in the world, because what is happening over there is awful. And when the Taliban take over and they actually end up becoming the government of Afghanistan, which unless somebody steps in, that's exactly what's going to happen. Then guess what? We're going to be dealing with Taliban leaders at world summits. Those people are going to be making decisions. They're going to have the ability to form their own military. And it's going to be absolutely devastating to the world. We cannot have terrorists running a country. And that's exactly what is going to happen. And what are we going to do now? Are we going to send some of our troops over there so they can get killed, undoing what we've already done?
Well, that wouldn't happen unless there was a new president.
I don't expect that to happen, but I don't trust anything the Biden administration does. I trust nothing they do. They got us into this mess, and they knew what they were doing. No one can tell me they did not plan this, and they didn't plan for the Taliban to rise.
So what do you say the ultimate goal is there then?
The ultimate goal for the Taliban is to seize the country.
What was the ultimate goal then? If you said that you're making
exactly that.
You're making a big accusation. Well, and I'm not saying I don't agree with you.
It's not an accusation. It's a fact that they left all of that equipment there,
so
knowing full well the Taliban would take it.
So you're saying the goal was to give all this equipment to the Taliban to do what?
To seize the country of Afghanistan.
But why? But why?
Because why would we do that? Well,
no. Why would we do that for them, and why would they want the country of Afghanistan?
Well, the Taliban, of course, wants to rule the country of Afghanistan.
But why?
Why?
For the average listener.
Because they're like ISIS. They want that to be their Islamic caliphates.
Okay.
It's all about religion and ideology.
It's not about money.
It's about oil, and it's about a lot of different
I was trying
things.
to lead you into oil.
Yeah, it's about oil. It's about a lot of different things.
It's absolutely about oil.
Because
it's always been about oil.
And that's why the United States gets involved. Because guess what? Remember when Trump dropped that big bomb on the caves in Afghanistan? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was like a 50-ton bomb. Well, guess who built those caves in Afghanistan? The United States did. We built those caves. I mean, we've been friendly to the Taliban over the years. Trump is the only president, the only one that I'm aware of in history that went against the Taliban.
Well, the Taliban was stopped literally
in their tracks because of Trump.
For about 3 years.
Exactly. And look where we're at now. We're right back where we started. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. I'll give you that.
Well, when you have a diplomat's daughter who's beheaded in Pakistan.
Absolutely.
Which also came out from a national standpoint, since we're talking.
And that's what Glenn's referring to, too, as far as drugs
say?
and heroin. Pakistan is behind the funding of the Taliban, and that is over drugs and heroin. There's a lot going on over there. None of it good.
Well, and here's the issue, and I know people who do not like President Biden or what's going on say there's all we talk about are COVID, all we talk about are vaccines locally, and when you have major stories going on internationally and what's going on at the border, so that we're not talking about what's going on internationally and we're not talking about what's going on at the border. I think that's something that you probably agree with as well.
Absolutely. And as Josh said, poppy plants. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of poppy plants in Afghanistan. And obviously the Taliban wants control of those
But there's
plants.
reports that the Americans that we've increased airstrikes against the Taliban in the last week, Tabitha.
Yes. Okay. So
the
think
Taliban
about
is accusing the United States of bombing them now. Why would we give tanks, give ammunition, $1 billion worth of weapons to the Taliban, and then try to bomb them? Okay.
I can answer that because look back what we did with ISIS. Okay. We created ISIS because we invaded Iraq. Okay. We got rid of Saddam. We left our tanks, all of our equipment there, which ISIS, of course, people formed ISIS. They took all of that equipment. That's what made them strong. Then they invaded Syria. And guess what? We went over there under Obama and said, oh, we're trying to fight ISIS. We're fighting ISIS. We're bombing ISIS. But guess what? We were never fighting ISIS. Never were we fighting ISIS. Guess what we did? We were training ISIS. We were training other Sunni Islamic members so that we could oust Assad. Don't ever believe what you're hearing and what you see in mainstream news because it is usually 100% false.
Well, you don't get the full story.
You do not.
I have learned that the hard way, and I have seen that. Interesting from the Facebook line, I have seen this as well. Now the Chinese are meeting with the Taliban as we're leaving. Nick, I have heard that and seen those reports as well, and that is something to be very, very concerned about as well. From the Facebook line, my son's duty at one time was to protect the poppy. In Afghanistan, his job was to protect the poppy. So if that doesn't show you, I don't know what would. Also, from the Facebook line, another great point here. And that's why we love it when you join us at 100.7 The Viper, and we love it when you share the show as well. Another great take. The leader of Haiti assassinated. How much national coverage did that get? Almost zero. Zero, because we were talking everything about COVID.
Right. Right,
I mean,
exactly.
It's another.
That's why I said last week, it's all, a lot of this stuff with COVID, it's the shiny ball. Look over here.
Which is why I just brought it up.
You are absolutely correct. Look over here. Let's all talk about COVID and distract everyone with COVID while all of this is really going on behind the scenes.
Well, and since we did leave and I mean, you said it was going to happen, and I think we all kind of knew it. Now you see the Taliban's group, they're moving, as you talked about, over and over and over and over again. It's and it happened as soon as we left.
Absolutely. And they were waiting for us to leave.
And eventually it's going to rear its ugly head for us somehow, some way. But even Trump was getting away from dealing in problems across seas, though.
And we should. And he did the right thing because we are not the world's police.
And he was getting away from all that.
We needed our troops out of there.
But you want to talk about humanitarian issues and problems that are now on the cusp of going wrong internationally. But do you really think in the next, couple years, 3 years, that America is going to go over and be doing things under Biden?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Because we just pulled out. You can't.
Well, we can't. We're not the world's police. We should have never been there to begin with. You know what? It happened in Libya. It's happened in Yemen. It's happened in Iraq. And now, Afghanistan. We were over there for 2 decades in Afghanistan. And it's never about what our government tells us it's about. It's always about oil. It's always about gold. It's about money. It's about control. It is never about helping the people of those countries. And what happens is we go and we invade those countries. And when we leave devastation behind. And no, it is no wonder these people hate us. They hate us.
From the Facebook line, Jews and Christians are the enemy of the world, elites and Democrats. I still want to see Hillary's emails. That
Me
kind of
too.
got lost. Also from the Facebook line, what about Hunter's computer?
Exactly. The real issues, they get buried.
Yes, they protect the poppy field because the U.S. government was afraid of destroying their economy.
Yes.
That coming from David Michael. We appreciate that as well. As I always say, money, 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 money.
It's all about money. It's all about oil. It's all about control. I mean, the country of Libya was doing pretty darn good before we stepped in. And guess what? So was Iraq. Saddam was a terrible, terrible person.
Yeah, but that gets into the banking situation, too.
Of course.
When it gets to
The central bank, no
Libya,
question.
because they're refusing to join
Same with Syria.
the central bank.
Same with Syria. Absolutely so. And those countries were far better off before we got involved. Because guess what? When we oust the leader that we call the bad guy, a new person steps in that is so much worse. So much worse.
I also wanted to get into, let's see here. Gosh, we've got like 10 minutes before the next break. I just don't see anything. I don't know where this is going to go, Tabitha. I really don't.
You know what's happening, Vic, is it's creating terrorists. We're going to end up having a lot of terror attacks in this country. Hopefully our wonderful FBI will foil them.
That's what Colonel Joe Adams told us the last time.
And he is absolutely correct.
Because he talked...
We're building terrorists.
Okay, and here's the thing. I always blame... I know you talk about how things can happen and it makes sense for it. I like to connect the dots. It's what I do in TV, too. Colonel Joe Adams said, if you don't think for a second, that Middle Eastern powers and officials aren't in connection with cartels in Mexico.
They're here.
And coming up through the border, you're crazy.
Absolutely. They are here. There are terror cells in the United States right now waiting for the command to do something. And guess what? The FBI every day foils terror attacks. Homeland Security, every day they foil terror attacks in this country. We just don't know. We don't hear about it.
Yeah, and that happens. That's with a lot of police issues.
Absolutely.
The thing that Joe did talk to us about, not trying to scare people, of course, talking about Joe Adams, who we'll get back on, who worked the border for several years, trained armies and militias in 40 different countries over his career, which one of the most phenomenal guests that we've ever had.
Absolutely.
Was down at the border. He is the one that he was very concerned and said there will be something sooner rather than later that will happen. And not something good, but something of devastation in a terror attack way because of the way that terrorists have been allowed to enter the country and form and organize.
And they're here.
And of him talking about them, about terrorists being here. So that's why this is interesting. That's why the topic becomes very interesting, especially what happens in the Middle East might seem like it's far away from us, but in all actuality, it's a lot closer.
It absolutely is. And that's why it's such an important issue.
And if we ever think or stop for a second and think that, oh, if we leave everybody else alone, or if we don't tell anybody else what to do or talk to anybody else or try, everybody's going to leave us alone here.
And that's also not true.
That's not true, especially if you have a bad reputation. And unfortunately, internationally, America does.
We do.
Regardless of whether we did something good or bad, or not even getting involved in everything from the CIA standpoint, or things that we have no idea that go on, we're not thought of. I mean, there are some countries that do like the United States, and you'll see in demonstrations the American flag being carried in countries, which is very interesting to see.
Yeah, because it represents freedom to a lot of people across the world.
But there are many other countries with power and hate against the United States as well.
Some of it deserved. Unfortunately.
And as Tabitha has said and explained to us, some of it deserves. So that's the issue that we're dealing with, and that's the issue that we're playing with when it comes to, and you think because of us leaving Afghanistan and the Taliban becoming more of a power.
It's not because we left. It's how we left. If we I know it costs a lot of money. We should have taken everything with us when we left. We should have never been there to begin with. Once we went there, we set the dice in play for this to happen. And it's unfortunate. And there is no answer right now. There's no answer. What do we do?
Yeah, and from the Facebook line as well. Yep, of course. They're bringing everything in from the southern border as we speak.
Absolutely.
They're coming through the southern border. Let's hear about the illegal aliens. These are a lot of those situations that starts to come through. The show needs to be longer.
Then we got to leave you wanting more, right, Vic?
Oh yeah.
We can't just say it all today. We've got to continue on some subjects to keep people going.
Oh, I just got a message. Let's see. From friend. We'll have to take care of that. Okay. I'll have to talk to Chris about that in regards to people actually getting a chance to get on and listen.
Yes, absolutely so.
Okay. So here we are on a Monday, August 9th. One thing and we'll talk more internationally. I'll make a call to Joe. We'll see if we can get Joe in this week.
I would love that.
I'd love to get Joe in studio.
I would too. And maybe this is the week.
If we don't have Eric in, for those who might be joining, Eric's sick. We'll keep you posted on what's going on with Eric.
We want Eric to have a speedy recovery, and we want him back here with us. But at the same time, we also want him to feel well.
And if you, and I've never been a fan of CNN's Jim Acosta, not because of his politics, but because of how he treated the president. No journalist, I don't care how you are, should ever treat a president or a White House secretary the way Jim Acosta did.
Agreed.
And I can speak to this because it's my business, and he was the most unprofessional person I think I've ever seen. But of course, he had an agenda to deal with when he was working for CNN. Well, now he is facing some backlash, and I don't think he could face enough backlash. I know he doesn't care, but he's making fun of the variant. He's like, the Delta variant should be called the DeSantis variant. Performance art. Literally, because saying that DeSantis is a reason why the variant is here. You can't make this stuff up. Jim Acosta saying it should be called the DeSantis variant. I mean, instead of the Delta variant, why not call it the DeSantis variant? We could sell beer koozies that say, "Don't Florida my Fauci," and use the money to help pay for all of the funerals in the days to come. Wow. Quote, "It's clear that CNN, which apparently functions as a PR firm for the Democratic Party, is afraid of Governor DeSantis." That's what a DeSantis spokesperson said. Why? Because he's leading our state through the challenges of this pandemic while respecting parents' rights to raise their kids, workers' rights to earn a living, and everyone's right to make their own informed decisions. Why is DeSantis the target of a very controversial media guy who wants to make a name for himself?
Well, I think we know why. It's more attack the conservative. I mean, we know exactly how this game is played.
From the Facebook line, what do you guys think about the Patriot gathering at St. Charles Family Arena? Safe to go or not?
That's a personal choice.
Yeah, I guess it would be. Depends on you. That's a loaded question. EJ's probably sitting in Miami right now.
He might be
drinking a Miami Vice.
But I'm guessing he's not because Chris is here.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
They would be together.
EJ partied too hard this weekend at the Washington County Fair. From the Facebook line, the reason they're going after DeSantis now, there being Jim Acosta and CNN, is because he's winning.
And that's absolutely correct.
What a great point from the Facebook line.
Absolutely correct. Anytime a conservative gets ahead, they've got to attack them and bring them down.
And somebody asking or replying, is it safe to go to the Patriot gathering? at the St. Charles Family Arena. Somebody said, yeah, it's very safe, but you can also go to the drive-in if you're concerned. I guess there's a drive-in portion of it as well.
I don't know. That I do not know. But I just see that as a personal choice. I mean, everyone, I feel like I'm safe to go because I've been antibody tested. I know I have some form of immunity. That's why I keep pushing antibody testing.
Absolutely. And I'm going to get my antibody test this week.
And I'm very glad to hear that.
That's for sure. And I know we have a lot of
get
St.
one,
listeners.
As you should.
Yeah, my son came back with high antibodies, and we're like, okay, there we go.
Right, exactly.
And we felt good. And
I want to see everyone that listens to the show antibody test and tell us, post your antibody levels to us. I would love to see that.
Did you buy stock in LabCorp?
You know what? That's a great idea. I should do that today. That's a really good idea.
As much as she talks about LabCorp, you would think so.
And throw me some, and invest some of your money for me on the side,
I
too.
am thrilled to death, quite honestly, with LabCorp. I was thinking about that. They should be sponsoring the show.
No, we got 8. And you won't
Did you hear
miss
that,
this.
Brian?
Yeah. We got a couple final thoughts, but we got to take a quick break. We're running out of time here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back and try to figure out the rest of the show. You got it. You're listening to The Edge. It's 9:52.
Show.
Go camping in style with weekend or full week rentals from Jay's RV in Warrenton. Jay's RV has rentals that sleep 4, 6, or 10 people. They even offer delivery and setup on your campsite, so you don't need a truck to haul it. Whether you're looking for a new or pre-owned RV, or you want to rent an RV for the family get-together, Jay's RV in Warrenton is the place for you. Sales and service the way it should be. Online at jaysrvrepair.com. Hey, it's Shanny from the Legendary Lunch, and I want to tell you about my friends at Mascot's Bar and Grill, 4881 Mexico Road in St. Peters, right by the Recplex. And if you are looking for a place to hang out with your friends, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. If you want delicious food, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. From their appetizers like the giant pretzel, this thing is bigger than your head, to the steak sandwiches, the value menu, to the legendary lunch special. That's right, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 3, you go in and tell them that you're FOS, you're a friend of Shanny's, and you want the legendary lunch special. It's a $5 half-pound burger and fries. That's right, $5 half-pound burger and fries. Better than any fast food burger you will ever have. And on Sundays, all day long. That's right, the legendary lunch special goes all day long on Sundays. Stop by and say hi to Jen and Rob. You will have a great time. Musical bingo, food, fun, friends, and family. It's Mascot's Bar and Grill.
The great Gap sale at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com is here. Styles up to 75% off. Plus, limited time deals including active shorts for the family from $19.99. Shop now through July 10th.
Need flooring?
Get your flooring installed correctly
At Flooring Correct in Wentzville for carpet, laminate, vinyl, wood plank, and more. FlooringCorrect.com.
Are you ready to start investing but aren't sure how? Go for the gains you deserve safely with this free special report from Wall Street trader and financial expert Jared Dillian. Claim your free copy at jaredradio.com. That's jaredradio.com.
Here's a message for Quiver River Electric members. Vote now in your annual Board of Directors election through August 23rd. Members may vote online, by paper ballot, or at the annual meeting on August 26th. If you vote, you are automatically entered into a drawing for free electricity prizes. Learn more about the voting process, the bylaw proposition on the ballot, and board candidates at quiver.com or call 1-800-392-3709.
Welcome to MegaNet. For slow internet, press 1. For indifferent customer service, press 2. For confusing pricing, press 3. For extremely long wait times, stay on the line. You are 87th in line, 85th in line, 87th in line, 85th in line, 85th in line.
Where there was frustration, now there's satisfaction.
Hello, this is Helen at Gateway Fiber. How may I help you?
Isn't it time you refreshed your internet provider? For more information, visit gatewayfiber.com.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, guys, welcome back to the show, The Edge. We got you for about a minute and a half here. Hey, one of these days, you got to bring your suit jacket in and show everybody off that you got from Tom James, my man Ben Still.
Man, I got
Ben
jeans,
Lawler.
I got
You got
shirts.
jeans, too?
Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff from Tom James.
I can't wait to see you wear it.
Did you try it? Did you try it all on yet?
I did.
Did you model it for Tracy?
Yes, I did.
Woo-hoo.
Did it lead to anything?
Oh, yeah. Can't discuss that on the radio.
Yeah, you just you got your American flag liner.
Yes.
I love it.
I love it too.
You know what I really like about their apparel is it has born on dates in the pocket.
Made in America, baby.
Yeah, man. It's super nice.
Chris, you're one of the most patriotic people I know.
Really?
Yes.
I love America.
Yes,
absolutely. Hey, I had COVID in December. Still have antibodies as of May when I gave blood.
Yep.
So that's about 6 months, right?
Absolutely.
All right, there you go. That's
why I
about-
want people to antibody test, because I want to know when you had COVID, if you still have antibodies, how many antibodies you had, because we're going to do our own study. How about that?
Glenn Thompson says he's going to go get tested as well right now.
Do it, Glenn. Do it.
I'm getting my antibodies this week, so
everyone needs to test. That's how we fight back.
Also, Candace Owens was in town Friday night too. I saw some pictures of people with Candace Owens in town.
I saw that also
as well. All right, guys, we appreciate you joining the show today. Thanks for making it great. We'll keep you posted on Eric. You can pray for him too. We don't know what he's dealing with, but he was sick today. Tabitha talked to him. I just saw the text, but we'll keep you posted, of course. We'll line up some guests. We'll line up a show this week, see what fits in best with the timing and what we got going on. But as always, we appreciate you guys making this show what it is, the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. 100.7 The Viper. Burke Johnson's not here. Chris Knight and Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. We'll see you tonight for Fox 2 News at 5 and 9.
Shanny's up next for some and Dan Bongino for others. Have a great day.